Welcome back to Linda's Pantry, and we are making sourdough bread today from start to finish. I can't wait to show you how easy this is and therapeutic. It's beautiful and it's delicious. Okay, let's get started with our sourdough. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add water, and this is 1 3/4 cups of warm water. This is filtered water. You don't want to take a chance on killing the yeast with and I need a measuring cup, of course, you don't want to take a chance on killing the yeast with chlorinated water. If that makes sense. Okay, ooh, look at this sourdough starter. It is bubbly. I fed it this morning. I fed it last night, and I fed it again this morning a little bit. So it is definitely ready to go. And I'm going to put roughly 2/3 of a cup. I'm not an exact baker. And now I can feed this again, and we should be good to go. Okay. Ooh, I'm excited. Okay, look how bubbly. Can you see the bubbles? That's how bubbly and active this yeast is in the starter. So, that being said, I'm gonna wipe my jar down. The only downfall to sourdough starters are they are kind of messy. So I will feed that with a little room temperature water and some more flour, and it will become happy again. Okay, so we're just gonna make a shaggy dough, and because I really want a lot of air in the starter, or in the bread dough. I want big pockets. I want air pockets. I want pockets and that chew and all that. So we're not gonna rush into this. And we're gonna add some flour, and I'm gonna add 3 heaping cups of flour to start. And we're gonna do like a dough hydration at this point. I also want a couple teaspoons of kosher salt. You can use whatever salt you like. I'm using kosher. That'll give it a really good flavor. Okay. Take my dough hook, or this is my Danish whisk, I should say. And if you don't have one of these, go down in the description. I've got a link for it. It's any batter or dough that you're making, it just makes it effortless. It's the best tool for this kind of stuff. So you really don't want a dry mixture, and it's going to depend on the humidity and everything else. You want a really shaggy dough that is kind of messy. We're not doing a fine crumb bread dough, so it's coming together, but it's still like shaggy. Can you see? That's what we want. And so this is going to be so good. It's time consuming, but so worth it to do this method. And literally, you're not doing a whole lot of kneading. You don't need a mixer for this. Okay, I'm going to get this off the dough hook. But see how easy that dough hook? So this is a sticky and shaggy dough. Can you see how sticky and shaggy that is? I'm going to cover this, and I'm putting it in the proofing oven, and that sourdough will leaven all the bread dough, or the sourdough starter will leaven this whole dough ball. And so it's going to sit in there for an hour while I go take a shower and get ready to be on camera for reels. And then we'll come back, and we're going to do, this is hydrating the dough. Then we're going to go ahead and do some folding, and that makes this so chewy and delicious. I cannot wait to show you the end result. So we'll be right back. I'm going to cover it with a tea towel. Okay, so the dough actually sat quite a bit longer than what I had planned, but that shaggy dough, now you can see the difference. And I can see air pockets. It smells wonderful. It's nice and just warm, but it smells yeasty. So you want to get your fingers wet, okay, with some water, and you're literally going to pull it away from the sides of the bowl, right? Just like that. Oh, yes. Wet your hands a couple times. This will also add a little bit more moisture if things dried out on you, and you're literally gonna pick up from the bottom and put it down over the top. Rotate your bowl and do the same thing. Pick up and fold it over. If you need more water, pick up, because that'll keep it from sticking to you. And it really does work. Pick up, kind of stretch it and fold it over, rotate your bowl. So everything's done in here. There's no hard kneading. It's a really fun recipe. Okay, pick up, stretch. And I'm gonna do this now every 20 minutes. Oh, look at that. And you're building up those muscles of the gluten, so to speak. It's gonna give that dough a really chewy texture. So, okay, I think that's good. And we're really relatively clean. We're gonna put our cellophane back on. I did choose to use cellophane just to keep it from drying out. And I'm super excited about this. So it's gonna be the most amazing sourdough. Back in the proofing oven for another 20 minutes. I'm gonna do this 3 more times, and then I'm gonna bring you back. Okay, so my dough is ready for its last slow fermentation. It's very relaxed. You can tell it's doing its thing. I'm gonna put some flour out on my clean counter here for us to lay that dough down on there. I'm gonna do the preform, and then it is going to, with this floured bread bowl, we're gonna go ahead and make an oval loaf. But it's gonna ferment again and rise overnight slowly. So this is, we're done with all the water and stuff. So it's very hydrated. It's a very hydrated dough. And we just want to get it out here onto, I hope you can see what's going on here. See all that, oh yeah. It's got, you can see the air pockets as it's coming out. So it's one cohesive big dough ball. It's just fantastic. I'm super excited about this. And it smells very sourdough. So get the top all sprinkled up here. Make sure you're not necessarily working the flour through. What you're doing is, I'm gonna form a rectangle. So I'm just actually gonna stretch, and I can see big bubbles, and you're gonna bring that, now that it won't stick to the counter, go ahead and get that flour, excess flour there. We don't want too much flour on that. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna transfer it. Now I have floured the inside of this, so it should not stick. It shouldn't stick at all. So that's stretching and smooth. Oh, this is gonna be such a big, lofty loaf. Now you do not have to, I just lightly dust it. You don't want too much flour on there. This is gonna go into the refrigerator overnight. You can go up to 36 hours, but overnight you don't have to cover it. And then we're gonna come back in the morning and bring it up to room temperature, preheat our oven, and yes, bake bread, okay? All right, so get that flour off the counter and off we go. Okay, we'll be back. Okay, so the dough is it actually sat quite a bit longer than what I had planned, but that shaggy dough, now you can see the difference. And I can see air pockets, it smells wonderful, it's nice and just warm, but it smells yeasty. So you wanna get your fingers wet, okay, with some water, and you're literally gonna pull it away from the sides of the bowl, right? Just like that. Oh, yes. Wet your hands a couple times. This will also add a little bit more moisture if things dried out on you, and you're literally gonna pick up from the bottom and put it down over the top. Rotate your bowl and do the same thing. Pick up and fold it over. If you need more water, pick up, because that'll keep it from sticking to you. And it really does work. Pick up, kind of stretch it, and fold it over. Rotate your bowl. So everything's done in here. There's no hard kneading. It's a really fun recipe. Okay, pick up, stretch. And I'm gonna do this now every 20 minutes. Oh, look at that. And you're building up those muscles of the gluten, so to speak. It's gonna give that dough a really chewy texture. So, okay, I think that's good. And we're really relatively clean. We're gonna put our cellophane back on. I did choose to use cellophane just to keep it from drying out. And I'm super excited about this. So it's gonna be the most amazing sourdough. Back in the proofing oven for another 20 minutes. I'm gonna do this 3 more times and then I'm gonna bring you back. Okay guys, so I've taken my fermented sourdough that's been sitting in the fridge just like this all night long. And I'm gonna hope that it didn't stick in here. It feels fine. Okay, so we're just gonna flip it over to our, hey, it's releasing. Okay, perfect. So that's what we've got, but I wanna brush off that excess flour. I don't need that on the bread. You're gonna get better results if you don't have that excess. But see how well. So I think somebody I was watching was talking about using rice flour in their bread baskets. This one's got quite a bit down here. I do like a little bit of flour left on there, only because, you know, the artisan breads, that's kind of a signature. So I'm gonna take this flour though and brush it off into my hand and get that off the counter and off the plate. So we've got that. And now, and sorry, it's early in the morning. I am preheating my oven. So look how beautiful. Now it's time to slash it. And you can use a regular razor blade. If you've got a really sharp knife, go ahead and do that. So I just wanna get into the very surface of it. It will split open when it's cooking, right? And then I'm gonna do a little bit of this. And I can already see air pockets inside. I'm super excited. We don't want to manipulate this too much because we don't want to deflate it. So that's going to be my design on top. I think it's going to be very interesting. I'm super excited. So then my basket, literally you can leave it just like this, or you can brush it out if you feel like there's any dough in there, but there's not. It's all flour. So it'll be used for the next loaf of bread next week. But can you see the air bubbles, the air pockets? Let me see. Can you see that? These are little air bowls, and those pockets, I can see them inside the cuts. Those are what gives you that beautiful crumb. And so as soon as the oven is preheated, my Dutch oven is in there. Now, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not using a cast iron Dutch oven. I don't have one the right size anymore. I have the big ones that I use outside. So I'm using my Tupperware Dutch oven because it doesn't have a vent hole in the lid, and it's oven proofed up to 450 degrees. So that's what we're doing. I'm using that for this go round, and if I can find a smaller Dutch oven at a garage sale or one of the antique places here, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But for now, this little baby's gonna hang out here. And actually I should have put a little bit of flour down on the parchment, but it'll be okay. It'll be just fine. All right, we'll be back when we're putting it in the pan, and the pan's gonna be screaming hot when you put it in there. Okay, so my hot smoking pan is out of the oven, preheated. So this dough's been now out on the counter for about, try not to hit the sides. There we go. It fits perfectly. It's been out on the counter for a half an hour. So now I'm going to put my hot, and trust me, the handle is hot, lid back on. In the oven it goes for 20 minutes. Then I will take the lid off and let it finish. So here we go. Okay, so I just took the bread out of the oven and we're gonna pull it out. Super careful because it wants to, the paper. I may need help. Let me get a spatula that I can get up under the other side. I don't want to lose this. Oh yeah. Let's pull that out. Look at that. Look at, it's hot, but, oh, perfect. Perfect. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And it busted open and you can see all of the, can you see it? Can you see all of the delicious aeration in there? And yeah, so this has got to cool completely. I will not, and the Dutch oven did a really good job. So you don't have to have a cast iron Dutch oven to do this. You can do this with whatever you have on hand. And that's what I had. So as long as there's no steam hole in the lid, yeah, that's beautiful. What a beautiful loaf of bread. As long as there's no steam hole in the lid and you can seal in, because that steam from that really hydrated dough is, it just, yeah. And then it gets that quick rise in there. Absolutely delicious. I cannot wait to get into this, but ouch, it's really hot. I'm gonna let it cool. And then I gotta get some pictures because nobody's gonna believe it. It's beautiful. All right. Guys, I knocked the oven down to, when I took the lid off, I knocked the oven down to 400 degrees. I didn't feel like it needed to be 450 anymore, and it came out perfect. It went for another 20 minutes, and with the lid off, 20 or 25. And so you just, when you get the golden brown that you want and you can smell fresh bread in the house, it is done. And it's hollow. And it's done. So there you go. I hope this inspires you. I cannot wait to show you the end result. Okay guys, it is time to cut into this beautiful artisan loaf of sourdough. I am super excited. I'm gonna bring you in close because I want you to see the crumb. As soon as I see it, I know by all the crevices and cracking and all that, that this is gonna have just a beautiful open crumb. Yeah, it cooked perfectly. I absolutely love it. Okay, super excited. All right, come on in. So here we go. Let's cut into this. Crispy outside. Beautiful. I can feel the texture on the inside. I can tell this is gonna be a chewy dough too. Sorry. As I struggle. I'm on the struggle bus. Okay, there we go. Cutting through that bottom. Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. And I can feel the chew and the stretch. Look at this. Look at that. Oh my gosh, and it smells incredible. Absolutely incredible. I am super happy with this. Okay, I'm gonna cut another slice. Oh yeah. Might need a different bread knife. And it's super important to let it cool. As tempting as it is to have it hot, you can reheat it. You don't need to do that. Okay, trying to cut through the bottom. Even though the bottom, it's just got a really tough chew on it. We'll see when we bite into it how that is. There we go. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, I have to put some butter. I need butter. And, oh yeah. Gotta have butter. And, you know, even a sprinkle of some sea salt or shaved finishing salt. Ugh, yeah, delicious. Let's get a bite. Let's get a bite. Mmm. That, my friends, is some of the best sourdough I've ever had. You got that crispy exterior, that chewy interior, and that sourdough punch. I definitely think it's worth leaving it in the refrigerator for a slow fermentation. I think it's a far better product than if you just cook it outright, although you can. You're just not going to have that, look at that chew. You're not going to have that depth of flavor. It's going to be hard to stay out of this. Absolutely beautiful. I couldn't ask for a better loaf of sourdough. Okay. I guess that's what's for breakfast. Anyways, all right, boys and girls, this was a fun video to do. Thanks for hanging in here till the end. And I want to tell you, we're going to be doing a collab of sorts. A couple of us here on YouTube, Lisa from Sutton's Days and Patty from Alderman Farms, and I are going to be doing a series of start, meaning starting the sourdough to finishing and doing breads and other baked goods with it. So I urge you to stay tuned for that. It's going to be going on the whole month of February. So I will be giving you how to start your sourdough starter, how I do it. Patty's got a different way. Lisa's got a different way. We're all going to be doing it very differently, and we're in different parts of the country. So the taste of the sourdough is going to be way different. Look at that. I'm just telling you. Probably this one's best. Watch. Can you see that? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyway, I can't wait to see you next time for another delicious sourdough recipe. All right, bye.